Hi, I'm Heather Garrett from planetbotanics.com.
And I am Diane Lancier of soulrestoration.ca, and we're on our own today.
We are. So we were discussing what topics would be pertinent to us and perhaps to you too, as we hope.
I'm just going to move this a little bit. I'm sorry.
And what I wanted to talk about was what each of us are doing this year to further ourselves, and any insights or information that have come. And of course, I have this interesting story that I've been teasing you about for about a week and a half, so I will definitely do that. But since we had the bars and the access consciousness,
Oh my gosh.
I know you've been practicing the sort of mantra every day, right? The
Oh, yeah.
life comes to me with ease and joy and
Yeah.
glory. I do that every morning as well.
Yeah, I mean, I do, yeah.
And then, so what are your targets for, like, what are you focused on? What are you using right now to make this year better for you?
Well, I don't know. I have a few specific targets, like things that I'm working towards in terms of, trips or classes, things like that. But generally speaking, my goal is always to just be more me, and to always increase or have a better communion with my body, with my business, and just expressing me, being able to express myself. So when I don't necessarily do the life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. I have a whole bunch of other things, and right now I have a few on a page that I read every morning. But it's using all the tools, right?
Well, that
I've
was
learned.
really
So
the
it's
word that
more
was coming
than-
to my
yeah,
mind
yeah,
was what tools are you using
Yeah.
that you didn't use before?
So definitely, and I had learned some of them before taking bars, but I have been doing bars exchanges with someone.
Cool.
So almost weekly we do bars on each other, which is amazing. I have to say, the first time I took the class, I didn't really feel much, and I didn't know what to attribute to the work that I do every day or to that. But now that I have it done every week, I definitely feel a difference when I get off the table.
Wow, that's cool.
Sometimes when I go there was one time particularly, I'm like, get me on the table. I have a lot of crazy going on in my head. And then an hour later, it was just all gone, all clear, calm. I leave feeling really, really calm, if nothing else. So I really, really enjoy it.
And is the person that you're doing the exchange with, do they have bars, or are they just?
She's actually done. Well, she's done bars. No, I don't teach bars. She
No, I mean, you gave her the bars.
No, I didn't show it to her.
Okay.
She took bars, foundation, and a body class. So sometimes I get body processes,
Cool.
which are really cool as well. It's like a whole other thing. But primarily, I would say, and I teach this in my work. So even though I'm not a facilitator, I still incorporate the tools in my energy work. So the clearing statement. I include all. It just kind of becomes this great mishmash. But I love interesting point of view. I have this point of view. So if you have a belief about anything, you just say interesting point of view. I have this point of view 4, 5, 10 times until it shifts. It's very, very powerful. I've never had to say it 10 times for it to shift for somebody. The other one is what else is possible? And how does it get better than this? They're really, really amazing questions to sort of, so this for me and in my daily life, those two questions are some of the most important ones, because when I feel like I'm trying to shut down the expansion or to contract, or if I feel like I'm hungry but I don't actually want food, and I'm aware that it's just this kind of trying to suppress the energy or the expansion, if that makes sense, then I go into what else is possible, and how does it get better than this? And those are questions you can ask when good things are happening or when bad things are happening, and we tend to want to ask them more when bad things are happening, but it's really great to do it when good things are happening, because then you are asking the universe, you're allowing yourself to receive more and more and more, and we tend to stop that process. We tend to have a feeling or an expectation, whether it's conscious or subconscious, of how much we can have, or how much we can receive, or how much can be given to us.
And how much we've been blocking things. What came to me when you were talking was something that is an NLP practice, neuro-linguistic programming, which is, when did you decide that?
Yeah.
So I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't do whatever it is. Well, when did you decide that?
Yeah.
When did that become a limiting belief for you? Because it wasn't always there.
Yeah, exactly. And in Access, it's all about, I'm getting all excited talking about this. In Access, it's about, so it can be like, when are you being, when you're doing that,
Right.
you know?
And that's all subconscious talk. because
Yeah.
You're trying to figure out what exactly that means consciously.
Yeah.
But it's whatever comes to you is.
Yeah, and
what's
sometimes you
real
don't have
back there.
sometimes you don't have the answer. Asking the question will just give you the space to release something, even
Right.
if you don't know what the real, you know, what the actual answer is. So in Access, they say that most, if not all, of what you're carrying, what you believe, what you think, what you feel, isn't actually yours. So as
Right.
an infinite being of light, you don't have anger, you don't have guilt, you don't have shame, you don't have any of these things, and you don't have limiting points of view.
Mhm.
So when you have something like that, very similar to what you said, you
Mhm.
say, well, who does that belong to?
Right.
Is that mine,
Right.
or is that somebody else's? So you can, you know, people who are new to it will often go, well, it's mine, because they're used to owning it. But once they understand the energy of it, and they will very quickly go into, oh yeah, it isn't mine.
Mhm.
Okay, so then you use the clearing statement, but it's very interesting to become aware of things that you think are yours because you're just picking them up from the world around you.
And also the things that you decide are your story. And what, like, change your story. Change
Yeah.
it every day.
Yeah.
Write a new chapter. It doesn't matter, but let go of what it was and allow that, as you say, expansiveness to come in.
Well, we were just talking about this. I'm a big, one of the things that what's the word I'm looking for? I talk about this a lot, or it's something that's very sort of big in my world in terms of things that I see it over and over again. I guess I'm aware of it, is how much people give meaning to their story and
Oh
to
yeah,
their
it's
struggle.
part of who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, you know, when you think about, well, what would that be like? What would you look like? Who would you be if you didn't have that struggle and that pain? You can come up, if you allow yourself to really be real about that, you can come up with a lot of the crazy thoughts that keep that stuck in.
Right,
And,
that, and also you may not know.
No.
Who would I be if I was not this story anymore? Who would I be?
And it's the not knowing
Yeah.
that keeps us in the story.
Yeah.
Right?
The fear of the unknown.
Or if I'm not carrying this, I won't be relatable to people. If I'm
Right.
not carrying this, I won't have like a platform. A lot of people, especially coaches and people who are teaching or inspiring or all of those things, they feel like they need that story in order to have something to talk about,
Mhm.
right?
Well, fortunately, we live in this this other place where we're open to all of that, and
Yeah.
that's the story I have to tell you.
Okay, I can't
Ready,
wait.
ready?
Ah,
Okay.
she's been telling
All
me
right.
about a story.
So I got a Facebook message from a friend of mine who's moved to New York, and she's a counselor. She does all sorts of things. She sent me this message, and it said something like, "I have something to tell you, and I know it's going to be okay because it's you, because you're open to this stuff." So I've been getting messages from Wayne Dyer for you.
Love
I
it.
told you it was a good story.
Yay.
And the message is intention
Yeah.
and the book. So I messaged her back, OMG,
Yeah.
I only have one book by Wayne Dyer, and it's called The Power of Intention. And I got it signed by him when I sponsored
When
him to
we
come
saw
here.
him in Ottawa.
Yes,
Oh my, I
yes.
love
So she
Wayne
said, well, there you
Dyer.
go.
Yeah.
Look at the book. There's something in it for you.
Oh my God.
She was coming to town the next week. So
This
I thought,
this is like as exciting as if he had talked to
I actually was like, Wayne Dyer, this is so you. This is so you, right?
yeah.
So I'm looking everywhere for the book and I can't find it. I thought, this is crazy. Like, it's one of my treasured possessions. Where the heck is the book? The morning I'm meeting her for coffee, I'm looking at my bookcase. I'm like, all right, there's some books behind there. I'm sure it's not, but I don't know where else to look.
Right.
I grab the first book. It comes out. There's a $50 bill comes floating down. I kid you not. And it's the book.
Oh my gosh.
I put the $50 bill in the book. I get in the car. I go to the coffee shop. Bam! Give her the book. Look. She's like, oh my God. I know. I'm so excited by this. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
So I said, and I will look at the book and so on. But I'm not good at looking at books because I'm busy and I read before I go to sleep and I didn't necessarily want to do it then. So I start listening to CDs when I'm at the warehouse making soap because it's in the background and I put it out there. Okay, I'm just going to listen and whatever I retain is what's meant for me. That's going to be the
just
message.
receive whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
What did I receive? The big message that stood out from, I have a 6 CD set from him, was when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
Yes.
So I have a chalkboard where I write down what products I need to make, and at the bottom of it I put that quote.
Okay.
And then I thought I'm just going to sit with that because that's what came out.
Yeah.
So then I'm talking to a friend and she's saying, oh, you know, this happened and that happened. I was like, yeah, that's in the past. You know what? If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Let's try that for a week. And she said, okay, great. I said, we'll have a negative fast so we don't say anything negative and we're just going to focus on looking at things differently. She was happy with that. And then I went to a Women in Business conference on Women's Day.
Yeah.
And Christina Hearns, who we've had on, was with me.
Hi.
And she has these little quotes that she gives
Yeah.
out with her business card.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't pack for the show myself, and I forgot to tell them to pack my business card, so I didn't have any. So I was just telling people, you know, here it is, blah, blah. So a woman comes up to me after the show, and she says, would you like to sponsor my events? And I said, well, I have a lot of shows coming up right now, so I'm not sure, but if you email me or Facebook me with the information, I'll see what I can do. And she said, well, do you have a business card? And I said, unfortunately, I didn't pack them today. She's like, all right, we'll just take one of Christina's cards. And Christina has about 30 different quotes. And I don't know if that's
Okay,
upside
so
down.
this is
So-
Christina's
So
card.
this is the one, this is what the woman gave me to
Oh.
write down my email on. What does it say?
Oh my God. It says change the way you look at things and the things you look at change.
The hair on the back
That
of my
is
neck.
Crazy.
The hair on the back of my neck was standing up. I couldn't find Christina.
By the
I was
way,
like,
I say crazy
"Oh." Yeah, like it's not possible.
this stuff happens all the time
Right?
when you're open
when
to
you're
it.
and you're watching for the signs.
Yeah.
So that's
When you
where
don't
the
say
story
that's
is
just
right now.
when you don't say that's just coincidence.
There's no
Yeah.
such thing as coincidence. So I'm embracing that.
Oh my gosh.
And, yeah, isn't that cool?
So I had something come up as you were telling the story.
Yeah.
So on top of that, or sideways or parallel or whatever.
Yep.
What happened to you, or what did you come out with, or what message did you retain, or whatever that
Yes.
is, the night that he came to town and you sponsored him? So, whatever that
Yeah.
happened that night,
Yeah.
whatever happened inside
Mm-hmm.
that you then contracted back in. So you know how sometimes you have this great awareness, or you have this great like epiphany, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, this is amazing, I'm going to carry this within me forever.
Right.
And then we contract back into human.
Right.
So something that
Hmm.
night,
Mm-hmm.
just you don't have to have the answer right now, but I'm just getting that message that also think back, or just allow that whatever it was, whatever space you were in then, whatever expansiveness that his presence created in you,
Right.
like just allow yourself to be that again. Does that make sense?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I'm like, oh my God. Well, he said this, and he said this, and he said this, and you know,
Yeah.
like he was just
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
The one thing that stood out for me was forgiveness is the scent of the violet is crushed under the heel. I don't know what quote that is,
Oh.
but I thought that was really beautiful.
So
and the sun
forgiveness is the scent
of the violet as it's being crushed under
as
the
it's being
heel.
crushed under the heel. Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah.
And there was one other one, and now I've totally forgotten it. But there were just so many moments
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. My God, it
Yeah.
was just like
Yeah.
jaw-dropping. But so I've ordered 3 more of his CDs to listen to while I'm at the warehouse. And again, I'm just going to let it percolate. But what I was really working hard on and was working really well, and then it all went to hell in a handbasket because we're human after all, was I'm not going to complain.
Wait.
I'm not going to, this is why I had the little blurb, okay?
Yeah.
So what I had committed to myself was I'm not going to complain about anything that I can't do something about. If I don't do anything about it, I'm not going to complain about it.
Right.
And then I got together with Jackie,
Or
and
as
we
I like
hadn't
to
seen
say-
each other.
As I like to say, shit or get off the pot.
We hadn't seen each other in a while, and I told her this, and then I said, but I have one thing to tell you. And that
Yeah.
turned into a whole day full of, and then, and da-da-da-da-da,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And now I'm back to, so I acknowledge that humanness about myself that I just wanted to vent one
Yeah,
day, and now
yeah.
I'm back to, okay, I'd really like to make this
I have
work.
my venting moments as well. I just had one with you before this,
Yeah.
and I think that again, that's a part of being human.
Right,
that, You know, we
exactly.
have those things. it's about not hanging on to it, right?
Absolutely.
And you can want to discuss something without having the energy behind it, without
Yep.
making yourself a victim or vilifying somebody else.
And then the other
or-
part of that was that I forgave myself for that day of venting
Yeah.
and let's move on.
Yeah.
Instead of, oh man, I had this commitment to myself and then I screwed it all up, so I don't know how I'm going to get back to that place.
No.
And
No, because
No.
the worst thing you can do is make yourself wrong for things, is to
Right.
judge yourself. That's toxic to the body,
it
right?
totally is. And again, what's in the past is done.
Yeah.
Let go, move
Yeah.
on, do better next time, whatever
So
it
in
takes.
access, it's every 10 seconds. So what are you going to choose in this 10 seconds?
Right.
Oh, too late. What are you going to choose in this 10 seconds? And
Right.
it's really interesting when you think about it that way. Because if you focus in on this 10 seconds, isn't your life perfect?
Oh,
in
and
this
there it is,
10
gone.
seconds. So, and now in this 10 seconds,
That's right.
I have everything I
Living
need.
in the present moment.
I have everything I need in this 10 seconds. And then,
Yep.
because otherwise what you're doing is you're moving your crap forward every 10 seconds.
Crap forward or
Yeah.
backwards, but you're never being in the present moment, which is where that's where miracles happen
Yeah.
and everything else. Because
Yeah.
everything that you're worried about or everything, like
Yeah.
it's useful. Useful, not. It's
Yeah.
useless.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just thought that was a really cool
But
story.
the other thing is when when you said about being human and things, I think it's also, so I understand what you're saying. There's the human part of us that we can't be, make ourselves wrong for those moments. At the same time, though, you want to make sure, I think, that you're not using that, and I'm not saying that's what you were doing, but we have to make sure that we're not using our humanness as an excuse or a reason to not to contract, right? So
Of course.
that's what that's
Right.
what I was saying. Like,
And
you
what
wanna-
I was saying was
yeah.
I was forgiving myself because it was a
Yeah.
human thing to
Yeah.
have this commitment and then off. And
Yeah,
then back on.
yeah. You're human?
A little bit.
Cool.
Like you, mostly unicorn, but
So that is an amazing, oh my God, I love that story.
right? And I'm
Yeah.
just so excited because, and this is an access consciousness thing too.
'Cause I
can't
connect
wait
Wayne
to
all
see
the-
what
yeah.
happens next. Because
Yeah.
that's not the end of it. And I
Yeah.
don't want it to be the end of it. I'm just going to be open and receptive.
What
and-
else? So that's where you
What
go.
else?
What else is
Exactly.
possible, and how does it get any better than this?
Right.
Right. I went out with Christina one night, and I found money on the floor. Like it was like I think I found I found money all night long. It was so funny. I think I
Were people
wasn't
drinking where you were? Yes, I think you were at Barrymore's.
Yeah, but I found some on the street outside, and I found some inside.
Okay.
But it was I think I found a total of $2, but I was still like.
That's $2 more than you had
Every
before.
time I found something, I was like, the first time it was really cool. I think I found a loonie and I found quarters. But every time I would say, how does it get better any better than this, right? And it was
You don't want to
so,
limit yourself. That's why you say that.
Yeah, you want to
don't
open
limit.
up to more and want
Yeah.
more and want more. It was hilarious. I kept finding change and I was like, Christina,
Cool.
what? It is so funny.
Crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, I
fun.
love your,
It's a fun
you've
universe.
been touched by Wayne Dyer. I want to touch you.
But I mean, this friend of mine, I don't know if she'd like to be named, so I'm not going to name her, but she just knew that it would be okay for her to message
of
me
course.
that, right?
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And I thought, okay, Wayne, why did you go to New York?
Because you
Get to
would
me.
not have, you would have been like, I'm just being crazy.
No, I don't think so. I was totally excited. And
Yeah.
my youngest
No,
son
but
said,
if
I hear you tell this story one more time, I'm going to throw up.
But if you had really perceived that Wayne Dyer was giving you a message, would
Right.
you have believed that?
Yeah,
that
I
was
think I would have
happening?
taken it to heart, but I would have thought it's a dream, and whatever the dream means, I'm taking the dream to heart, not
Right.
necessarily that was Wayne coming
That's
to
what
me.
I'm saying.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
I'm
Well.
just really happy about it.
that's super cool.
Oh,
Yay.
It's all exciting.
So, yeah. So
That's it.
That's it.
And every time I tell it, I get real.
Yes.
It's such the vibe that
yeah.
that's when you can. That's what Abraham Hicks says, right? As soon as you're energetically excited about something,
Yeah.
that brings all those like things into the same vibration.
Yeah,
comes
and what
into
I
your
was
life.
saying about contracting back into human is it's a real thing because I can't tell you how many times in the last, I would say, it was 2017, 12 years then. The first time that I felt a real shift energetically was when I took Doreen Virtue's Angel Therapy Practitioner class in California. So that was in 2006. It was a 4 or 5 day class of just being in this expansive energy with over 400 people
Wow.
in a big room.
That's big.
And actually it was really nice because at first you think, oh, I'll get lost in the crowd. But honestly, Doreen has such a beautiful energy that makes you feel like she's talking to every single person that she's in front of.
That's quite a
That
talent.
is a unique
Yeah.
gift. And she has said, I remember, if you can read people with 400, I think we were 444. If you can read people with over 400 people around you, you can do it anywhere. And I thought, wow, that is true. I can read people anywhere.
Mhm.
And I just kind of took that on. But anyway, after I left there was such an energetic shift in me, and at the time I didn't really understand it. I was aware of it because I felt really raw,
Mhm.
like energetically raw. It hurt me to hear negativity, like
Mhm.
it physically hurt. I don't know that I've ever even had that feeling since then, but it was a huge, like I must have just upgraded like
Mhm.
big time. And when I got home, my friends were like, "You look different. I was." Anyway, even my friends still talk. Well, Cheryl, she still talks about it. How like it. She saw it. I couldn't see it,
Mhm.
right? But anyway, and then I contracted back, and then it took several weeks, but I did contract back. And it doesn't take the knowledge away, but it's just that energetically you kind of
Right.
reintegrate back
Mhm.
into human life.
Yep.
And I think what I learned from that was that that's how you do it. That's normal.
Mhm.
That you have these shifts and then you contract back, and that's
Well,
normal.
in fact, that's exactly what happened with the Wayne Dyer thing.
Right, well,
because
that's
I was
what
really
that's
doing
why
well with it. And
I know,
then-
that's why I'm talking about it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it's not just random.
Okay.
Sometimes
Sometimes
it
it
is.
is.
Not this time.
All right.
So so over the years I've had different versions of that.
Yeah.
And the last time I had that happen, and I can't even put my fingers on right now what it was, but the last time I felt such a shift, I said, I'm not going to do that again.
Hmm.
I was finally able to embrace my being more energy than body,
Mhm.
because the contraction back into human is the contraction back into the body.
Mhm.
And that's a belief that you're contained within the body,
Mhm.
right? That you can't exist outside of the body.
Yep.
Because one of the more recent experiences I had with this was when I did the tapping into past lives 2 years ago. The first one I did in Montreal. I came back home, and for 3 days I could feel myself floating outside, like I was like out here. I couldn't speak properly. I was completely disconnected to my body, like in the sense that I was thinking. I think I told you this already, but I would think the body needs to pee. So it wasn't like I need to pee. It was like the body. So there was a disconnection. It didn't feel wrong or bad, but I did eventually reintegrate.
Yeah.
And so the last time that I had such a huge expansion that I felt it, I said, I'm not doing that again.
Mhm.
I'm just going
Spirit,
to exist in that way, because I know that I'm more than the body. The
Right.
body is just one piece of this existence, of
Right.
this human existence. It's not all of me.
Yep.
There's no way that your body can contain the infinite being that you truly be.
Yep.
Right? So
Well, as
I
Wayne
don't.
Dyer says,
Yeah.
you're not. How does he put it? You're not a.
What is it? The spiritual being having a
Yes,
human experience?
yes.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, that's been around for a long time. But you're not a human being having a spiritual experience. You're a spiritual being having a human
Yeah.
experience.
And I think that's an
Yeah.
important distinction.
Yeah, and I think it's so. That's why I was talking about the contraction into the body, because that's a choice too, right?
Sure.
Whether so if you have that belief that the body is more powerful,
Mhm.
because we limit our gifts and our spiritual power because we're in the body, and then we give the body so much more power than our spiritual
Mhm.
power, that we limit ourselves based on the body that we
It
have.
would be interesting if this had been a Facebook Live.
Yeah.
Because what I'm thinking right now is, because we're going to have to wrap up, but what
Yeah.
I'm thinking is I'd love to hear people's input on what we're discussing here today, because I think it's really interesting. And And sometimes people are afraid to relate their experiences because somebody's going to think they're wackadoo, whereas
Yeah.
someone like me or you are like, oh my god, I'm so excited. I can't believe
Give
that
me
happened.
more.
Give me more.
How much-
That's right.
How does it get better
Exactly,
than this? Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's very cool. I'm really happy for you.
yeah, I'm
That's
excited too. I
awesome.
can't wait to see what happens next.
Yeah.
So-
$50.
Right?
Oh.
Not $1, not
Yeah.
a 20, like
50.
50.
How does it
A
get better
$50
than this?
bill is kind of extraordinary, and like there was no
No.
coincidence. There was no. All right.
Don't say it's extraordinary.
Well, anyway,
It's amazing.
the fact that it was right with the book,
Yeah.
like there's no
Yeah,
two ways about
yeah,
it,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So let us know what you think. Let us know what you're feeling. Let us know what your experiences
Yeah.
have been.
Yeah.
And we would love to hear from you.
Yeah.
So until next time, be well, and can't wait to see what happens next.
Yeah. We should sign up. I know. Maybe I'll just be really cheesy and be like, and what else is possible?
Namaste, y'all. See you next time.
Bye.